Welcome back to the Desk Talk Podcast with your hosts, Trent Werner and Alex Magala, bringing you weekly episodes talking business, personal development, and all things real estate. Let's do it! All right, welcome back to the desk. Let's talk. Alex, what's our topic today?
We are talking about prevention and aftercare of a home in the event of a freak kind of storm and how important that is. I know a lot of people right now are experiencing issues, whether that's a tree fell on their home, pipes froze, whether it's your investment property, your primary house. I mean, no matter what, it's still someone's home.
All real estate.
So kind of got to take care of that. And that's what we're going to touch on briefly here.
Yeah, and the whole reason this came up is because there's a lot of snow across the United States right now, some in areas that typically doesn't get this much snow. So
shout out Texas.
Yeah, I hope everyone is safe and they're getting power back on and no one got affected too bad from all the storms that we've been experiencing. This topic came up because I lost power for 2 days, I think. I think it was
3.
I think mine was like a day and a half. It came on for a second and then went back off for another half day. But that's what got us thinking about it. So a couple of things that I was thinking about right off the get-go when the snow really started to come down was, trees, just because in my area, it's Mountain Park, and there are huge
Massive
trees literally right behind my house. I'm talking 100-footers, and the one in front of my house actually has, I think it's called boar beetle, and I had the other one removed because it was starting to lean and was not safe, and so I was a little nervous. And then once all the ice came, I started hearing branches go down, and I got a little scared. Luckily, nothing bad happened.
That's definitely something new that I've, coming from Reno, Nevada, seen snow before. I've never seen an insane ice storm like that like coated everything and then the snow. And so it just caused all this mayhem. Like, I've never seen that in my life before. I was like, wow. This is
just driving on the road. It was just carnage of just fallen limbs and trees and power lines. I was literally driving behind a guy today, back windshield shattered, and you're like, oh, he got hit with a tree.
I was out at lunch and I heard a car's window get shattered from the ice falling from a tree. So it's just like you can't plan for this stuff.
No, but you can somewhat prepare. A couple things that I thought about. I have some overhanging limbs on my roof. As soon as the weather gets nice, I will have an arborist out to clean those up in case something like this happens again. I just, I got thinking about it and said, hey, if a tree's going to go down, there's not much I can do about that, but I can at least get these limbs away from the structure as much as possible. The other thing I thought about, and I was grateful that I kind of prepped. Luckily, I had a tree chopped down, so I had plenty of firewood. But making sure that, your firewood is dry. I have a tarp over mine, so it stays pretty dry. It was easy to go down. I could chop some more up, and we had plenty of firewood. So that was another thing. If you have a fireplace, have firewood.
Yep.
And you're going to have a lot of it after all the trees came down.
Get a generator, a backup generator to have. Most people who go camping will have these kind of small units, but obviously, word of advice, don't keep it in your garage or inside your house while running. I think a lot of people saw the news in Texas about the family that ran a generator inside their house, but it emits carbon dioxide, so
it's an engine.
Keep it outside, but that is kind of a safety measure. I mean, preparing for it, what happens once every 5 years up here is what people were saying.
Yeah, so where it gets this bad, yeah.
Most of the time they don't prepare for that, so you as a homeowner can. I know, obviously living in an apartment, they always tell you leave your faucets dripping and keep the heat on, but if power goes out, you're not going to have heat. So firewood for me was going to be the next step, but thank God I didn't lose power in Beaverton.
My parents have a generator, and it absolutely saved, they were glamping, according to my mom, because it ran the necessities, and they have a wood stove that heats the hell out of the downstairs, and so they were just watching TV on Netflix, and we're totally fine.
It's kind of like you're in a cabin. It was like a weekend getaway, but...
Yeah. One thing I did hear that was pretty cool is my buddy's in-laws have a generator built into their house. It's fully connected all the time. Obviously, it's not inside their house, but it's
wired outside.
Wired in, built fully ready to go all the time. My parents had to pull theirs out of the garage, set it outside, and then run a cord down to my basement where the electrical box is so they could hook it up. So I never knew that you could build a backup generator into your house, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, I wonder if there's any benefit for like insurance wise or something like that having it. I don't know, but it's smart. Someone who prepares. I mean, like I said, you don't have to use it often, but when you do have it, you're thankful because, I mean, there was a ton of people that had to eat dinner with candles Valentine's Day when we didn't have any power. So being prepared for it all is important. What about aftercare? So say it hits and you were out of town. Some people might have been out of town and couldn't come home to prepare their home. Mm-hmm. Aftercare. What is like assessing damages? What are ways to kind of figure out what might be going wrong?
Definitely you want to check everything that's going on. I know at a house that I am connected with, there was limbs on the roof. And so, you get the limb off and maybe it doesn't look like there's anything, but, take a good look at it. Maybe it kind of cracks some of the beams if it was heavy enough or whatever. So you just want to be thorough with assessing damage. I know electrical, sometimes you might get power surges and something might short out. So just kind of go around, check your electrical stuff, and definitely get prepared.
For pipes, I know it's, if you think that they might be frozen, get a bunch of heaters in there, start heating your house before trying to turn your stuff on, like unthaw them. But obviously if you see standing water somewhere in your yard or in your house, it's a good indicator that a pipe might have froze and burst. So obviously get on that quick, turn the water off.
Yeah, water is the scariest thing about real estate, in my opinion. Like, water can cause absolute havoc in a property if it's not taken care of properly. I saw an article that the CDC said food that was in a refrigerator without power for more than 4 hours should be thrown away. So there's a little side fun fact for you. I am now throwing away all my food. Unfortunately, all the stuff that needs to be thrown away. And our garbage day didn't get picked up this week, so I have a full garbage can and a fridge that still needs to be cleaned out. So that's a problem that I have. But don't get sick eating all your spoiled food.
Plan, prepare. Also, if you can't plan, then looks like you got to figure out what's going on afterwards. Mm-hmm. Also, if you're out of town, word of advice, call a buddy, call someone if you see that there's going to be like a storm like that, and have them kind of prepare your house for it. Mm-hmm. It might save you thousands and thousands of dollars.
The other thing, too, is having, once you go through it once, you should learn to prepare for it better the next time. Having shovels and snow shovels and ice scrapers, whatever you need to, once it starts cooling down a little bit, or warming up a little bit, I should say, and you can kind of get places again, have the necessary tools. I saw a gentleman that was trying, snowplow pushes all the snow to the side, and his work truck was parked there, so it got just buried with snow. And he was trying to move the snow with a hand truck.
Awesome.
Because that's all he had.
I mean, I myself used a plastic cup and some Tupperware that was in my car to scrape my window because I didn't have a window scraper, and the ice was so bad. So it's just
what about hot water?
No, that's a horrible idea. If your windshield is frozen over with ice, do not pour warm water on it because it will crack your windshield. Do not do that. Horrible advice.
Especially if it's chipping already, it's toasted.
Gone.
Kyle said he used his ID to scrape his windshield.
That was what a lot of people say to do, but this ice was thick.
Oh, and I had an ice scraper and it would come off.
And I'm telling you, my Tupperware container could barely get it off. And I had my car like blasting heat on it. I mean, it's just it was different. Me and my Corolla got nowhere that weekend. But that's all I have for you this Fast Paced Friday. So
all right. Yeah. Hopefully you guys are all safe with the snow and your power is coming back on soon and you didn't get hit too hard with damages. Thank you for listening. We're at the desk. We're done talking. We'll see you next week. Have a good weekend.
Peace. That's the end of today's episode. Thank you for tuning in. It truly means a lot to us. If you haven't already, please subscribe and share this with friends. This helps fuel the podcast and gets more and more guests on our show. Hey, go follow us on Instagram as well. Desk Talk Podcast. Go connect with Trent and I as well. We're on Instagram too, LinkedIn, you name it. Stay tuned for more episodes. Peace.